some things I want to address about the class early on, so that you kind of know what you're getting yourself into. And the reason why I say kind of is because there is nothing I could say or do that could possibly prepare you for the volume of this course. Well, for instance, the last time I taught 241, my students were using the word mind-boggling by the time we were about a month in. It's so much information. And yes, it's so much information delivered via lecture, but I also like to get my Canvas site fully ready as possible, even before the quarter starts. So when you go to your Canvas site, the course Canvas site, you'll be overwhelmed. There's just so much stuff there. And one of the issues with online learning, whether it's because of COVID or because you took a strictly online class, is that it really requires an extra layer of self-accountability and a proactive attitude. You have to just jump in. You can't wait for someone to tell you, okay, do this. Okay, now do this. Okay, now do this. Don't forget to read this. Just explore. And that's what I recommend you do ASAP, is go into our Canvas site and explore. If that means you need to pause this video right now and go play, then that's what you do. Go play, all right? I will, by the end of this video, have given you kind of a to-do list and prioritized it for you. And that will help to clarify what you should pay most attention to in Canvas for now. But I think it's important for you to explore, not just so that you know what's available to you, but so that you have practice sooner than later, as soon as possible, finding things in Canvas and knowing how Canvas is organized, how this course is organized for this quarter. Okay. My lectures, they're all delivered via YouTube, very much like this, except with more visual. I'm not in the picture. Usually you won't see my face during lecture. So that means that you can watch master lectures at your own pace, which is really nice, assuming you've got that self-accountability aspect. But yeah, it's really nice. Labs also, which are called surveys in Canvas, they can be completed as long as they're in by their due date. They can be completed whenever you want. Like if I were you, I'd open up at least one now and just see what it looks like. I can't believe how many students wait to open things because they're, I guess, afraid that if you open a file it explodes. I don't know. But I would open things now rather than let them sit and sort of become scarier and scarier and scarier. Let's see, some things I want to tell you about Canvas. Canvas tends to skew pointers, text boxes, margins, like the work that I do on a Word document. The way that I set it up on my computer, it might display differently in Canvas. So I recommend that you download files before printing, if you're going to print. It's not like you have to print things, with a few exceptions. But just keep that in mind, that things can get skewed if you're looking directly through Canvas. Also, I recommend that you set up Canvas to notify you whenever I make any kind of change to our course. So whether I add an announcement, which I will do very frequently, whether I add a discussion, whether I change the due date of something, not that I anticipate doing that, but any sort of change that I make in Canvas, you can set Canvas up to notify you and tell you, hey, this thing is now available or this thing has changed. And personally, I choose to have Canvas notify me via text message because my inbox is ridiculous enough as is. And I also don't want to confuse an email that's sent to me through Canvas with an email from Canvas, which students do all quarter long. The students are always saying, hey, I got your email, and I'm always saying, I didn't send you an email. What are you talking about? When really Canvas sent them an email. Okay, anywho, the instructions for setting Canvas up to notify you of any changes, they're posted on Canvas. Pretty much anything that you can think of, I've posted on Canvas. Any sort of set of instructions, any sort of perspective or viewpoint that I want to expose you to, it's already on Canvas. All of the lectures for the entire quarter are already on Canvas. All of the exam study guides are already on Canvas. All of the exam worksheets, which are a set of exam style questions, a huge set in fact, are already on Canvas. There's pretty much anything you can think of is there. Again, explore sooner than later. And the course calendar, it looks like this, but it's certainly posted on Canvas, okay? And it tells you we have a Zoom meeting here, or we have a Canvas discussion, not a Zoom meeting, here, or we have an exam here, or we have a Zoom meeting and here's what we're doing during that Zoom meeting, that kind of stuff. So this is a piece of treasure, okay? And personally, I recommend that you not just print it, but print a copy to either stick, tape to maybe your desk, or tape to your wall. Just have it right there so that you're never having to, oh my God, I gotta sign in and look it up, and no, right there is perfect. This class, you may end up describing it as the hardest class you've ever taken until you take 242. Most people say 242 is more difficult than 241. And we'll probably get into that just out of curiosity and chit chat later in the quarter. But 241 is, again, it's a lot of information. 242 is a lot of information. They both address what's in the body, form, where those things are in the body and where they are relative to each other. In other words, orientation, function, how do things work? And that's really physiology. Physiology is the how do things work, whereas the what does it look like, where is it, that's the anatomy aspect. And more students struggle with physiology than do struggle with anatomy. And there's a little more physiology in 242 than there is in 241. So that's usually why people describe 241 as really, really difficult, but 242 is even worse. Okay, to give you a little bit of perspective, and honestly, I can't teach you the value of overestimating how difficult this class is going to be any more than you could teach an 11-year-old the value of taking daily showers. It's just something you've got to experience for yourself. But to give you a little perspective, some students find it difficult to work at all and do well in this course. Some students find it difficult to take any other classes and do well in this course. Now, that doesn't mean that there aren't students that successfully and somehow work full-time jobs, raise 4 children, take other insane classes, and do well. They're just rarities. Okay, so just, brace yourself brace yourself. Okay. I think that I'm ready to talk to you about your to-do list and your priorities. But even when I finish this video, even when I stop recording, it's not like I fall off the face of the earth. I'm still around. So if you have any questions, if there's anything I didn't address, you can email me. Number 2, set Canvas up to notify you. And again, instructions are posted on Canvas in an announcement that says set up Canvas. Okay, number 2, priority number 2. Priority number 3, read the announcements that I've posted so far, because if you don't read the early ones, then you'll just get behind, because I'm only going to make more and more and more announcements. So read those early announcements now. Priority number 5. Number 5, start Chapter 1 lectures. Start Chapter 1 lectures. And there are 2 of them, 1A and 1B. Oh, and that's one thing I wanted to mention. If you ever have a hard time with the link to the video in Canvas, just go to my YouTube channel, Tessa Cornish, and find the lecture that you want. It's publicly available, okay? So get these lectures done as fast as you can for Chapter 1, because the next chapter, we skip 2 and 3. Chapter 4 is a beast, and you want to give it as much attention as you possibly can, okay? Priority number 7 is to start those Chapter 4 lectures, and there are 2 of them, 4A and 4B. Again, this is a beast and very important. It will kind of be like the thread that's woven through the entire quarter. It even comes back to haunt you over and over and over again in 242. So it's really important that you master Chapter 4 as soon as possible. Priority number 8. And you can do this at any time. You can do it now if you want to. I'm just letting you know like when it might be a good time to really bear down. And start to attempt the tissues survey, which is also located in the Canvas folder called quizzes. The tissues survey. And then priority number 9, which is, yay, the last one for now. Start to skim, the Exam 1 worksheet, the Exam 1 study guide, so that you know the difference between a worksheet and a study guide, okay? Believe it or not, the Practicum 1 study guide, even though the Practicum is more than a month away, you want to open this now. Trust me. I've done this before. Okay, and then this is a weird one. Believe it or not, that's a G. Open and skim the final exam study guide. That's right, the final exam. I think it's best to know up front what your end game is. So I would look at that now, rather than wait until it's bearing down on you, okay? Anywho, that's what I wanted to do for now. I hope that gets you rolling, maybe familiarizes you a little bit.